all of you joining with us this morning, as in person, as well as those who are joining us online as we engage in our, technically, this is the second Sunday of the new year, our second Sunday service. And today's service is sponsored by a wonderful devotee from the US in Baltimore, Paramani, and she has celebrated her birthday during this past week, and she has asked to sponsor today's devotion, so offerings will be made on her behalf. So at this time, I ask that we all clasp our hands, we close our eyes, we bow our heads, we focus our minds at the feet of Shri Krishna as we do our Upthana. Hari Om, Hari Om, Hari Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. Om Aim Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Guru Charan Kamalebhyo Namaha. Om Bhadram Vishnuyam Deva Bhadram Pashye Mokshabirya Jatraha Sthirairangai Stushtuvan Sastanobhim Vyashemahi Devahitam Yadayu Om Dro Bredashravaha Swasti na Poshah Vishwavedah Swasti na Starakshurishtanemi Swasti no Brihaspati Dadhatu Om Paya Pritavyam Paya Ushadeshu Paya Divyantarikshe Payudah Payasvati Pradishah Santu Mahyam Om Vishnu Ratamasi Vishnu Snaptrestyo Vishnu Shurasi Vishnu Dhruvorasi Vaishnavamasi Vishnavetva Om Agnir Devata Vato Devata Suryo Devata Chandra Devata Vasuvo Devata Rudro Devata Adityo Devata Maruto Devata Vishvideva Devata Brihaspati Devata Indro Devata Varuno Devata Om Dhyo Shantahe Antarikshagvam Shantahe Prantahe Apah Shantahe Oshadaya Shantahe Vanaspataye Shantahe Vishvideva Shantahe Brahma Shantahe Sarvagvam Shantahe Shantireva Shanti Samah Shantiridhi Vishwani Deva Saptar Duritani Parasuva Yad Bhadram Tanna Asuva Om Gananam Tva Ganapati Gum Havamahe Priyanam Tva Ganapati Gum Havamahe Nidhinam Tva Nidhipati Gum Havamahe Baso Mam Aham Jani Garbadhama Tvam Jasi Garbadham. Those who are participating in puja, please chant your Rashi names in your mind. Hari Om Tat Sat. Om Vishnur Vishnur Vishnu Namah Paramatmane Shri Puran Purushottam Adya Shri Brahmano Nidvitya Pararhi Shvishveta Varaha Kalpe Vaivasvat Manvantare Ashta Vinashati Tame Kalyuge Kali Pratham Charane Bhuloke Jambudvipe Kanada Varshe Skabro Grame Baudhavatare Shubhamasi Shubhapakshi Shubhatithi Amuk Namasya Mukha Gotram Namham Daihik Daivik Bhautik Tatraya Iti Shri Pach Mahadevata Shri Krishna Bhagavan Havan Pujanam Shankalpam Maham Karishye. Offer your flower. We now do Pavitram. We sprinkle the water around our Vedi altar 3 times. Om Apavitraha Pavitro Va सर्वावस्थाङ्गतोऽपीव यस्मरितपुन्दरीकाक्षं सबाह्यभ्यन्तरं शुचि। ॐ श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु श्री विष्णु। Bow to the altar 3 times. ॐ क्षमाश्व मे परस्पर्शं क्षमाशीले परात्परे रामकृष्णादिकानन्त्वं माता पृथ्वी नमस्तु ते। Bow to the ground, take your seat. ॐ पृथ्वी त्वया धृता लोका देवी त्वं विष्णुनाधृता त्वं च धार्या मां नित्यं पावित्रं कुरु च आसनमिति आसनं समर्पयामि। आसन लीजिए, please have your seats. So at this time, devotees, we all compose our minds. We contemplate now upon the Panch Mahadevata. Firstly, the form of Lord Ganesha, Vigna Ishwar, that Lord of obstacles, that Lord that can help us in removal and overcoming of all obstacles in our lives. We contemplate upon him as we seek his blessings this morning. Hare Om. Vakratunda Mahakaya Suryakote Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvara। Om Vigneshwaraya Varadaya Surpriyaya Lambodharaya Sakalaya Jagadhitaya Nagananaya Shruti Yagya Vibhoshitaya Gauri Sutaya Gananata Namo Namaste। Om Ganganapataye Namaha। Om Ganganapataye Namaha। Om Ganganapataye Namaha। बोलिए श्री गजानन स्वामी के जय। We now contemplate, meditate upon our Divine Mother in the form of Adi Shakti Durga Mata. Om Sarva Mangal Mangalye Shive Sarvarth Sadhike Sharanye Trayambike Gauri Narayane Namostute। Jayanti Mangala Kali Bhadrakali Kapalini Durga Kshama Shiva Dhatre Swaha Swadha Namostute। Om Dum Durgaya Namaha। Om Dum Durgaya Namaha। Om Dum Durgaya Namaha। बोली श्री आदि शक्ति दुर्गा माता की जय। We now focus our minds upon Mahapati Mahadev Shiv Shankar Bhagwan. Om Tat Purushaya Vidmahe Mahadevaya Dhimahi Tanno Rudra Prachodayat। कर चरण कृतं वा कायजं कर्मजं वा श्रवणनयनजं वा मानसं वापराधं विहितं विहितं वा सर्वमेतत्क्षमस्व। जय जय करुणाब्धे श्री महादेव शंभो। Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Om Namah Shivaya. Bolo Mahapati Mahadeva ki Jai. We now offer humble prostrations and obeisance to Surya Narayana Swami, that one that provides that light and energy for the sustenance of this creation. हाथ जोड़ बिनती करो सूर्य देव भगवान, दास प्रभु करहु सदा कल्याण। आदिदेव नमस्तुभ्यं प्रसीदा मम भास्कर। दिवाकर नमस्तुभ्यं प्रभाकर नमोस्तुते। ओम सूर्याय नमः। ओम सूर्याय नमः। ओम सूर्याय नमः। बोलिए श्री सूर्य नारायण स्वामी की जय। We now contemplate upon that Supreme Lord in the form of Sri Mahavishnu Bhagavan and his last major incarnation of Sri Krishna. Om Shantakaram Bhojagshaynan Padmanabham Suresham Vadharam Gagan Sadrisham Megham Shubhangam Lakshmi Kantam Kamal Nayanam Yogi Bhirdhyan Gamyam Vande Vishnu Bhavabhay Haranam Sarvalokaikanaatham. Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopakumaraya Shri Govindaya Namo Namaha. Om Krishnaya Vasudevaya Haraye Paramatmane Pranat Klesha Nashaya Shri Govindaye Namo Namaha. Om He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jai Gopesh Gopinatha Radha Kanta Namostute. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai, Mahavishnu Bhagwan ki Jai. So we now engage in making offerings to Shri Krishna. So those who are joining at home, please make offerings together with us. Firstly, we'll offer water. Harihi Om Narayanam Namaste Astu Narakadnavatarakam Padyam Grihan Devesh Trailokyam Te Mirapaham Shri Krishna Bhagavan Argyam Padyam Snanam Samarpayami. We offer Chandan. Om Shri Khanda Chandanang Divyam Gandharyo Sumanoharam Vilepanam Surshreshtam Chandanang Pratigrihyatam Shri Krishna Bhagavan Chandanang Samarpayami. We offer Pushpa flower. Om Malakadi Sugandheni Malyatade Nivai Prabhu मायहृतानि पूजार्थं पुष्पाणि प्रतिगृह्यतां श्रीकृष्ण भगवान् पुष्पं समर्पयामि. We offer gandha essence. Om gandham grihan devesh devadeva dayanidhi tvameva jagatam natistva tvameva jagatam prabhu Shri Krishna Bhagavan gandham samarpayami. We offer deep light arti. Om sajang chavarti sanyuktam vahnina yujitam maya deepam grihan devesh trailokyam timirapaham. Bolish Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. So if you prepared a Naivedya to offer to Shri Krishna, you can hold it in your hands at this time. Firstly, passing the water around it 3 times. Om mandakin yastu yadvari sarva papa haram shubham tariram kalapitam devam samyagyachmanyatvam tvaya. We all pray together to the feet of Shri Krishna Bhagavan as we offer this Naivedya unto him. We humbly ask him to accept it and to shower his blessings upon us. Harihi Om Grit Pakwan Havishyanam Payasham cha sharkara Nanavidham cha naivedyam Shri Krishna Bhagavan naivedyam samarpayami. Om tvadyam vastu govindam tubhyameva samarprayet grihan sanmukta bhuktava prasida purushotamam. Bolish Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. Touch the prasad to the murti, touch to your head. Say Shri Krishna Arpanam. If you have flowers, tulsi leaf, you can offer at the feet of Shri Krishna whilst chanting Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. We now offer water. Om Sarva Papaharam Devam Gangeyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Chamaya Dattam Grihan Parameshwara Shri Krishna Bhagavan Achmanyam Samarpayami. If you prepare Dakshina, you can offer it at this time. Om Nakpal Supal Maulavi Vanditangre Yugala Prabhu Hari Dakshinang Pradeshri Krishna Bhagavan Danam Dakshinai Samarpayami. Bolo Vrindavan Bihari Lal ki Jai. So before we engage in our mantra jap havan, let us all join our voices as we offer beautiful praises at the feet of Gajanana Swami. Jai Lambodara Pahima Jai Lambodara Pahima Jagadamba Sutta Rakshama Jagadamba Sutta Rakshama Jagadamba Sutta Rakshama Jagadamba Sutta Rakshama Jai Lambodara Pahima जय लंबोदरा पाहि मां।
जय लंबोदरा पाहि मां।
हे शरणागता रक्षा मां हे
शरणागता रक्षा मां।
हे करुणानिधि पाहि मां।
हे करुणानिधि पाहि मां।
हे करुणानिधि पाहि मां।
हे करुणानिधि पाहि मां।
जय लंबोदरा पाहि मां। गणनाथ संरक्ष मां रक्ष मां।
हे गणनाथ संरक्ष मां।
हे गणनाथ संरक्ष मां रक्ष मां।
हे गणनाथ संरक्ष मां।
निज भक्ति मूलं देहि 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 मां।
जय लंबोदरा पाहि मां।
जय लंबोदरा पाहि मां।
जगदम्बा सुता रक्षा मां।
जगदम्बा सुता रक्षा मां।
जय लंबोदरा पाहि मां।
जय लंबोदरा पाहि मां।
हे शरणागता रक्ष मां रक्ष मां।
हे शरणागता रक्ष मां।
हे करुणानिधि पाहि मां।
हे करुणानिधि पाहि मां।
जय लंबोदरा पाहि मां।
जय लंबोदरा पाहि मां।
हे गणनाथ संरक्ष मां रक्ष मां।
हे गणनाथ संरक्ष मां।
निज भक्ति मूलं देहि मां।
निज भक्ति मूलं देहि मां।
जय लंबोदरा पाहि मां।
जय लंबोदरा पाहि मां।
जय लंबोदरा पाहि मां।
जय लंबोदरा पाहि मां।
जय लंबोदरा जय लंबोदरा जय लंबोदरा पाहि मां। Holy Shri Gajanan Swami ki Jai. So this time devotees will engage together in mantra jap havan. Those who are joining at home, please sit before your havan kun, light the fire whilst we chant this mantra. Harihi Om Bhurabhuvasvaha Om Bhurabhuvasvaha Dhayuriva Bhumna Prithivivavarimna Tasya Aste Prithividevaya Janim Anadam Anadayadare. Boliye Shri Agni Devta ki Jai. Pass the water around the fire 3 times. Om Mandakin Yastu Yadavari Sarva Papaharam Shubham Taridam Kalpitam Devam Samyagya Achmanyatvam Tvaya Itihi Achmanyam Samarpayami. We now begin making our offerings. We all together can chant Swahas. We make these offerings. Om Shri Ganesh Devtabhyo Namaha Swaha. Om Ganganapataye Namaha Swaha. ॐ गङ्गणपतये नमः स्वाहा। श्री गौरी माताय नमः स्वाहा। श्री शंकर भगवानभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री अग्निदेवताभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री महालक्ष्मी माताय नमः स्वाहा। श्री महाविष्णु भगवानभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। ॐ नमो नारायणायभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री भास्करायभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री चंद्रायभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री भौमायभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री बुधायभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री गुरुवेभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री शुक्रायभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री शनिश्चरायभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री राहवेभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री केतवेभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री प्राणायभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री अपानायभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री समानायभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री इंद्रियायभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री उदानिकायभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री इष्टदेवताभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री कुलदेवताभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री स्थान देवताभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री ग्राम देवताभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री माता पिता चरण कमलेभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री पंचपाल देवताभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री दस दिक्पाल देवताभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री आदि शक्ति दुर्गा माताये नमः स्वाहा। श्री अरुंधति देवीभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री भद्रकाली देवीभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री संतोषिनी देवीभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री रुद्राणी देवीभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री ब्रह्माणी देवीभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री परमेश्वरी देवीभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री अंबिके देवीभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री चंदिके देवीभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। ओम ऐं सरस्वती माताये नमः स्वाहा। श्री कृष्ण भगवानभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री रामचंद्र भगवानभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। श्री हनुमते देवताभ्यो नमः स्वाहा। We all chant together Brahm Gayatri Mantra 3 times. Om Bhurabhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurabhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Om Bhurabhuvah Swaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyo Yo Nah Prachodayat Swaha. Mahamrityunjay Mantra. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushte Vardhanam Urvarukameva Vandanam Mrityor Mukshyamamritat Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushte Vardhanam Urvarukameva Vandanam Mrityor Mukshyamamritat Swaha. Om Trayambakam Yajamahe Sugandhim Pushte Vardhanam Urvarukameva Vandanam Mrityor Mukshyamamritat Swaha. We chant Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya 27 times. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Swaha. 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 ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय स्वाहा 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 ॐ श्री सर्वदेवता देव्योभ्यो नमः स्वाहा श्री सर्वदेवता देव्योभ्यो नमः स्वाहा श्री सर्वदेवता देव्योभ्यो नमः स्वाहा Final offering. ॐ पूर्णमदा पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ सर्वं वै पूर्णागं स्वाहा बोलिए श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय Pass the water around the fire 3 times. Om Sarvapapaharam Devam Gangeyam Nirmalam Jalam Achmanyam Chamaya Dattam Grihan Parameshwaram Shri Agni Devtachmanyam Samarpayami Boliye Shri Satya Sanatan Dharma Ki Jai. So at this time, devotees, we'll have 3 short bhajan or kirtan. So Sira, Devish, Srukta.
दुर्गा भवानी माँ जय जय अम्बे माँ दुर्गा भवानी माँ जय जय अम्बे माँ दुर्गा भवानी माँ जय जय अम्बे माँ दुर्गा भवानी माँ जय जय अम्बे माँ
जय हरे कृष्णा गोवर्धन गिरिधारी।
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 राधा मोहन राधा जीवन,
राधा मोहन राधा जीवन।
राधा मोहन राधा जीवन।
राधा मोहन राधा जीवन।
मंजुल कुंज बिहारी।
मंजुल कुंज बिहारी।
बोलो मंजुल कुंज बिहारी।
मंजुल कुंज बिहारी।
जय हरे कृष्णा गोवर्धन गिरिधारी।
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 राधा मोहन राधा जीवन,
राधा मोहन राधा जीवन।
राधा मोहन राधा जीवन।
राधा मोहन राधा जीवन।
मंजुल कुंज बिहारी।
मंजुल कुंज बिहारी।
बोलो मंजुल कुंज बिहारी।
मंजुल कुंज बिहारी।
जय हरे कृष्णा गोवर्धन गिरि
बोली श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. Devotees, this past week we've had several devotees who are celebrating special days in their life. And of course, I did mention that today service is sponsored by Paramani from Baltimore. So she celebrated her birthday. Arun Maharaj, Alvin Sicharan, also from the Baltimore area, and Savitri Singh, and Arvir Maharaj also celebrated birthdays this past week. So we'd like to celebrate with all of them by invoking the presence and the blessings of Shri Krishna Bhagwan. And many times we love to listen to the childhood activities of Shri Krishna, the playful aspect of Shri Krishna, where he did his little mischievous activities. So we picture Shri Krishna, he's a very nice young boy doing some mischievous activities as we chant unto him in celebration with all these devotees. छोटे छोटे गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल, छोटे छोटे गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल, छोटो सो मेरो मदन गोपाल, छोटो सो मेरो
मदन गोपाल.
छोटे छोटे गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल, छोटे छोटे गैया
छोटे छोटे ग्वाल.
छोटो सो मेरो मदन गोपाल, छोटो सो मेरो
मदन गोपाल.
आगे आगे गैया पीछे पीछे ग्वाल, आगे आगे गैया
पीछे पीछे ग्वाल.
बीच में मेरो मदन गोपाल, बीच में मेरो
मदन गोपाल.
छोटे गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल,
छोटे छोटे गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल.
छोटो सो मेरो मदन गोपाल, छोटो सो मेरो
मदन गोपाल.
काली काली गैया गोरे गोरे ग्वाल, काली काली गैया
गोरे गोरे ग्वाल.
श्याम बरन मेरो मदन गोपाल, श्याम बरन मेरो
मदन गोपाल.
छोटे गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल,
छोटे छोटे गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल.
छोटो सो मेरो मदन गोपाल,
छोटो सो मेरो मदन गोपाल.
छोटी छोटी सखियाँ मधुबन बाल, छोटी छोटी सखियाँ मधुबन बाल, रास रचावे मेरो मदन गोपाल, रास रचावे मेरो
मदन गोपाल.
छोटे छोटे गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल,
छोटे छोटे गैया छोटे छोटे ग्वाल.
छोटो सो मेरो मदन गोपाल,
छोटो सो मेरो मदन गोपाल.
छोटो सो मेरो मदन गोपाल, छोटो सो मेरो मदन गोपाल. बोली श्री वृंदावन बिहारी लाल की जय. So this time, devotees, we'll be proceeding for discourse, a sermon this morning out of the pages of Sri Ramcharitamanas. But before we do so, however, ask that we all clasp our hands, we close our eyes, we bow our heads for a few moments, resting our minds and our hearts at the feet of Maryada Purushottam Prabhu Shri Ram. As we chant these lines of praises unto that Lord, asking that Lord to be merciful upon each and every one of us today. We ask you, Lord, that this divine knowledge that we are about to receive may it be accepted in its most pure form. May that knowledge influence our life, impact our lives in a most positive manner. We humbly pray, devotees. Harihi Om. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namah. Om Aim Saraswatyai Namaha. Om Shri Guru Charan Kamale Bhyo Namo Namah. Ramaya Ram Bhadraya Ramchandraya Vedase Raghunathaya Nathaya Sitaya Pataye Namaha. Neelambhuj Shamal Komalangam Sita Samaropit Vam Bhagam Panav Mahasayak Charu Chapam Namami Ramam Raghuvanshanatham. He Ram Purushottam Narhari Narayan Keshava Govinda Garuda Dhwajan Gunanidhi Damodar Madhava. He Krishna Kamalapate Yadupate Sitapate Shripate Vaikunta Adipati Characharpati Lakshmi Pate Pahima. Adau Ramatapovanarigamanam Hatva Mrigam Kanchanam Vaidehi Haranam Jatayumaranam Sugreva Sambhashanam Bali Nigrahanam Samudra Taranam Lankapuri Dahanam Paschat Ravan Kumbhakaran Hananam Etadhi Ramayanam. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram Jai Ram
Jai Jai Ram.
Let's all bring that most auspicious name, that most divine name of Prabhu Shri Ram upon our lips today. We use that vital pran, that air that pervades our body, to chant that name of Bhagavan, making our entire being very blessed. Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram. Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai
Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram. Shri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram.
Shri Ram Jai Ram
Jai Jai Ram. Holy Shri Ramachandra Bhagwan ki Jai. Very beautiful devotees. When we chant that name of Prabhu, we close our eyes and we try to engage that divine vision of the Lord in our minds. Exclusively, we think of Bhagwan while we chant his name, devotees, then that chanting becomes most fruitful. Most fruitful. In Ramayana, we are told that even if we chant Bhagwan's Shri Ram's name while yawning, there's benefit to it. The implicit meaning says that we shouldn't be thinking about sleeping while chanting Bhagwan's name. Even while yawning, if we are thinking of Bhagwan, if we are thinking of Sri Ram, even while yawning and we chant and we say his name, that there's blessing. But if we're chanting Bhagwan's name, but we're thinking all sorts of other things, then it's very minimal. Because we engage in devotion, there's some karma, there's some activity, so there'll be some blessing there. But if we want to have that full benefits from chanting the name of Bhagwan, then, if our eyes don't need to be open, I always say close them. Close them so we eliminate all outside distractions. The only distraction now remains is inside our own minds. Because that mind also is very chanchal, right? Very wicked. It will lead us in all kind of different direction. Mind might start to think, I wonder what the person next to me think about me singing. Or that person clapping all the time. Mind is, say all different kind of things to distract us. To distract us, devotees. So, this is why we want to get better devotion, then we must do it more. The more we practice something, better we get at it, isn't it? Right? And we try to do it in the best way that we can. The best way that we can. If we halfway, then we'll only end up halfway. Right? If we want to be perfect, then we have to practice to become perfect. So as best as we can do it, we practice, and then we become better. We see where we are falling short, we become better. This is how we have to practice our devotion, and that regular is important, regular practice. So last week, we spoke a little bit in our New Year's Eve into New Year's morning session, where Kak Busundaji, he was within the body of Prabhu Sri Ram, and then he came out. And he started to think about this situation, what he was in, what he saw, all these various phenomena that he saw. And then he came out and he saw exactly where he was before he went into the stomach of Sri Ram. And he started to think in all different ways. But he could not come standing. His mind was very in a state of unrest. It was not peaceful at all, devotees. And what happened at that point, let us hear in Chaupai. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama. Everyone. Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
Shri Ram Jai Ram, Jai Jai Rama.
देखी चरित यह सुप्रभुताई, समुझत देह दशा बिसराई. बोलो श्री राम जय राम,
जय जय राम. श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम.
धरनी परे यो मुख आवन बाता. बोलो श्री राम जय राम,
जय जय राम.
त्राहि त्राहि आरत जन त्राता. बोलो
श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम.
श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम.
श्री राम जय राम, जय जय राम.
रघुपति राघव राजा राम.
रघुपति राघव राजा राम.
बोलो
रघुपति राघव राजा राम. रघुपति राघव राजा राम.
What happened, devotees? देखी चरित यह सो प्रभुताई. Devotees, he's looking at this activity of Maryada Purushottam Prabhu Sri Ram as a little baby, little child, playing with toys, crawling around, etc. And also remembering that the majesty of the scene. How great was that scene that he just witnessed inside the stomach of Sri Ram. And he could not bring these two things together. He could not understand. Devotees could not understand what he witnessed inside and now what he's seeing on the outside. What he's seeing on the outside. Samujhat deha dasa bisarai. He could not understand. He could not understand, devotees. And it is said that at that point he started to feel very faintish. He felt faintish and he lost consciousness. And he started to call out to the Lord. What did he say? Trahi trahi arat janatrata. He says, save me, O Lord, save me, O Lord. As he was going to this state of unconsciousness. Devotees, this is very significant for us, what is said here, that Kagbha Sundarji lost the consciousness. He lost consciousness of the material things. Our consciousness when we awake, our minds engage in what type of thoughts mostly? Generally, what type of thoughts our minds engage in? Spiritual thoughts or material thoughts? That one we have to ask ourselves. That question we ask to ourselves. Because you are accountable to no one except yourself. Understand that. You are accountable to no one except yourself. If you have a Sadguru and you accept that relationship with your Sadguru, then you become accountable to him as well. But first of all, you are accountable to yourself, because who is with you all the time? They say, me, myself, and I. Who is with you all the time? Not even your spouse, right? Not even your spouse is with you all the time. Not your parents, not your siblings, no one. You are with you all the time. So therefore, you are accountable to yourself. So here it is, Kagbha Sundarji says he lost the consciousness. He lost the consciousness of the material. He started to forget all that majesty that he saw. All that majesty that he saw inside the stomach of Sri Ram. He started to forget. He lost the consciousness of all of these things, devotees, and he did the one thing that we should all do. He did the one thing that we should all do, devotees. मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम. Do we all know this line, devotees? Can we all chant it together? मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम. We ask that Lord for protection, for refuge. Oh Lord, please protect us. मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम मुझे अपनी शरण में
ले लो राम
लोचन मन में जगे न हो तो लोचन मन में जगे न हो तो युगल चरण में ले लो राम मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम
मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम
जीवन देके जाल बिछाया रक्ष के माया नाचन छाया जीवन देके जाल बिछाया
रज की माया नाचन छाया
चिंता मेरी तभी मिटेगी चिंता मेरी तभी मिटेगी जब चिंतन में ले लो राम मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम मुझे अपनी शरण में
ले लो राम मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम
मुझे अपनी शरण में
मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम।
बोली श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। मुझे अपनी शरण में ले लो राम. Devotees, sometimes we reach a point in life we don't know where to turn. We don't know which side to turn, which side to find answers, which side to find solutions to the situations that we are facing with from time to time. That is when we should remember, devotees, and we should always remember Bhagwan is with us. Niradhar ko adhara ek Ram naam. Those who do not have support, that Lord provides support through His divine name. Through His divine name. Chanting the divine name creates that support for us devotees. You know, in the world today, more and more prevalent, we hear about mental sickness. More and more prevalent. 20 years ago, you never hear about so much mental anxiety. What happened in the last 20 years? Devesh? You only are 16, right? So you know. What happened, devotees? You know, 50 years ago, 60 years ago, the diseases that are prevalent today in society were not there. As a society becomes more and more polluted, more and more corrupt, thinking in the minds become more and more corrupt, devotees, all of these things are coming. We are giving power to all of these diseases, all of these sicknesses through negative activities. Bhagavad Mahapuran tells us all of these things will come to pass. All of these things will come to pass, devotees, if we want to avoid being a part of that type of suffering, then we should know to do differently, to be different, dare to be different in a good way. Be different in a good way, devotees. Don't just follow what is, the common theme or what is popular in the society. Not necessarily it is good. We analyze before we perform activities. Think about it before we do it. Is it something beneficial for me? Is it something detrimental to me? When Panditji says, sing Bhagwan's name, is it fruitful? Is it beneficial? Is it detrimental? What is it? When the children go outside and they're being peer pressured into doing something that they shouldn't do, I don't have to read and spell what that is. Being peer pressured into doing things that they shouldn't do. Now, children, we have to think, is it good for me? Is it not good for me? You have your own minds. You have your own intellect, analytical abilities. You think about it before performing any activity. So here it is, devotees, that Kakbhusundaji, he lost the consciousness of all that he saw. And devotees, he started to call out to the Lord for protection. Call out to the Lord for protection. And devotees, what happened? Let us hear in Chopai.
Jai Rama,
सरोज प्रभु मम शिर धरयो दीन दयाल सकल दुख हरयो श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम 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 जय श्री राम जय जय राम. What happened, devotees? Prema kul Prabhu mohi biloki. Devotees, when Prabhu Shri Ram saw that Kakbhusundaji was overcome with this love, love in his heart for Prabhu. When the Lord saw this, devotees, Nij Maya Prabhuta Tabaroki. Devotees, then he stopped that influence of Maya. He stopped that influence, that strength of Maya from affecting Kakbhusundaji. Boli Shri Rajaram Chandra Bhagavan ki Jai. Devotees, we want Maya to stop affecting us. Remember what we used to say? Few years ago, we used to say that devotion or prayer is our immunity against negativity. You know, when COVID came out, they say, go and get immunized. Go and get the shots. Immunize yourself against the virus. Is there anything to immunize us against negative thoughts? Here it is, devotees. Here it is. Devotion. When Kakbhusundaji was overcome with love for Bhagavan, and Bhagavan saw this love in Kakbhusundaji, Prabhu stopped that influence of Maya. He stopped Maya from affecting Kakbhusundaji. And what happened, devotees? Kar saroj Prabhu mam shirdhayo. Devotees, the Lord, who is very affectionate, very gracious, very loving towards his devotees, placed his hand upon the head of Kakbhusundaji. He placed his hand upon the head of Kakbhusundaji. Dina dayal sakal dukh hariyo. Devotees, and by placing that hand upon his head, he relieved him of all the dukkha, relieved him of all the sufferings that he was undergoing. He forgot everything. He forgot all that suffering, devotees. Can we go to the feet of Bhagavan? What are we looking for from Bhagavan, devotees? Jinke kripa Sakal Sukh Sampati. Jinke kripa Sakal Sukh Sampati. Through his kripa, devotees, we attain all peacefulness, all happiness. It comes on to us, devotees. Jinke kripa Sakal Sukh Sampati. Jinke kripa
Sakal Sukh Sampati.
पावत जन भक्तन और चंदन पावत जन
भक्तन और चंदन
बंदो चरण कमल रघुनंदन बंदो चरण कमल रघुनंदन कमल रघुनंदन रघुनंदन कमल रघुनंदन तो चरण कमल रघुनंदन
बंदो चरण कमल
अवधपुरी प्रभु नित्य विराजत
अवधपुरी प्रभु नित्य विराजत
जन जनकसुता युत दुष्ट निकंदन
जनकसुतायुत दुष्टनिकन्दन
बंदो चरण कमल रघुनंदन
बन्दो शरण
कमल रघुनंदन कमल रघुनंदन
कमल रघुनन्दन
बंदो चरण कमल रघुनंदन बंदो चरण रघुनंदन बंदो चरण कमल Bando Charana Kamal Raghunandan. That vandana, perform that obeisance, that prayer, that devotion to the feet of the lotus-like feet of Raghunandan, the lotus-like feet of Bhagwan Shri Ram. Attain that highest state of peacefulness, happiness, devotees, to engage in that devotion. Now again, I will explain this, because many people will go away the thought that Pandit Vijay only saying devotion, devotion, devotion. What about work? What about clean house? Etc. What happened to all of these things? Just disappear? No devotees. It's still there to do. Bhagwan won't come sweep your house, Maybe he might come. But he won't come every day and sweep your house. We have to do it. But now we think, I'm sweeping my home. Bhagwan, I want this home to be most clean for you. So that you feel welcome, you feel comfortable in this home. Not my home, in this home. We have to stop the I-ness and mine-ness. We have to refrain from saying I and me and mine. It's one of the ways that we can reduce the effects of Maya. Because when we say I, who are we referring to? Who are we referring to? Ego, right? So most likely it's something associated with the body, isn't it? Something associated with the body or some achievement that we have gotten in our lives. I, me and mine. Main aur mera, tu aur tera. This is what is considered to be Maya. I and mine, you and yours. So the more that we can reduce this in our lives, devotees, the further that ego affecting us all the time. And here it is, that by that expression of love, and that detachment from materialism, Kakbu Sundaji, he received that ultimate blessing of Bhagwan Shri Ram, removing all his sorrow, removing all his difficulties. Devotees, what happened? Let us hear in Chaupai. राम मोहि विगत विमोहा सेवत सुखद कृपासन दोहा श्री राम जय राम जय जय प्रभुता प्रथम विचारे विचारे जय श्री राम बोलो श्री राम
जय राम जय जय राम जय श्री राम
मन महा होई हर्ष अति भारी श्री राम जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय राम श्री राम जय राम जय जय कीन्ह राम मोहि विगत विमोहा सेवक सुखर कृपा संदोहा. Devotees, that very gracious Lord, that very merciful Lord, who is Sevak Sukhar, who is the delight of his Sevak, those who serve the Lord. Those who serve the Lord. Now, Bhagwan doesn't want us to serve him. Bhagwan doesn't need us to serve him. But those who become a Sevak, serving Bhagwan through their activities, the Lord becomes very happy. The Lord bestows his mercy upon those who serve him through this creation, through his creation. That Lord, he removed that moha. He removed that illusion, that deep-rooted illusion from the mind and the heart of Kakpusundaji. Prabhuta prathama bichari bichari. And when Kakpusundaji thought about all the majesty, all the greatness that he saw within the stomach of Sri Ram, when he thought about all of these devotees, man mahahui harash ati bhari, devotees, his heart became flooded with joy, with peace, with happiness. Boli Shri Ram Chandra Bhagavan ki jai. In the remembrance of Bhagwan, in the remembrance of Bhagwan, devotees, there's a lot of joy. There's a lot of happiness. When we think of Bhagwan, he's a sum total of prem, of love, of anand, of bliss, of sukh, of happiness. The Lord is this to us, devotees. If we want to plug into those qualities of love, bliss and happiness, then we engage in devotion to Bhagwan. We engage in remembrance. Jehi sumirata siddhi hoy. Right? What we remember first, Gananayak. Firstly, remember Lord Ganesh before reading Ramayana. Om Shri Ganeshaya Namaha. But what we think about devotees, various forms of divinity. And the more that we can engage in the remembrance of these forms of divinity, then the more we plug into that anand, that bliss, that happiness and that love. You know, we can analogize this. That if we are a lamp and there's an electrical outlet, but the plug is not in the outlet, will that light ever go on? No. Do you understand, devotees? Without plugging in into that devotion, plugging our time into that devotion, our energy into that devotion, then we can never experience that love, that bliss, that happiness that exists. It is up to us, devotees. No one can force us. No one can make us. We have to make up our own minds. Is this what I want? And until such time, devotees, as we make up our minds that this is what I want, then we'll continue to do as we wish. But when we start to do what Bhagwan wants us to do, when we start to listen to that inner voice telling us all the time, my child, you're going the wrong way. My child, you're doing the wrong thing. Turn around. Turn around. Be better. Each and every one of us devotees, human beings, we must have done something wrong in our lives. We must have been tempted to do something that is not correct from time to time. And if we remember correctly, devotees, search your memory banks. Remember correctly, as we were preparing to do this thing that was not correct, there's a little voice telling us, son, daughter, don't do it. We have to be conscious of that voice. We have to listen. We have to listen to that voice, devotees, because that's the guidance that we get from Bhagwan. Isn't Bhagwan inside of us? Isn't Bhagwan inside of us? Each and every one of us? Yes? And he is speaking to us, isn't it? He's trying to communicate with us. But how close are we to Bhagwan? How far are we from Bhagwan? You know, my father used to say, it's a long distance call. You got to put one in front. Or is it local? How far are we? How close are we to Bhagwan? Devotees, we must become closer and closer. As close as we can become. Plug into that source, that perennial source of happiness. We'll never experience unhappiness again when we plug into that source. Don't we want this? Don't we want this? No one likes to be unhappy, isn't it? Anybody like to be unhappy? Shalini? No, right? No one likes to be unhappy. So therefore, the answer is here for us. For us, engage in devotion as much as we can. Engage in devotion. I was listening to a very, very good motivational speaker. And he was saying, when you have some value or worth to someone or to society in general, the expression is, how are you? How are you? Meaning that, they value how you feel. They value how you're doing. But then there comes a time when maybe you don't have that value to that person, that value to the society or community as a whole, then you become, who are you? This statement becomes that. Not how are you anymore. Becomes, who are you? Same set of letters, right? But different connotation, different meaning. It goes from how are you, meaning that, I want to know how you are. I value you. To who are you? Meaning that I don't even know who you are. Do you understand, devotees? This is how society goes. This is how, in the material realm goes. So is this our reality? That in the prime of our life, yes, everybody looking for us. Everybody looking for us because we could do something. But then when we get a little older and the abilities become less and less, the contributions become less and less, then who is looking for us? Who is looking for us that time? Then you become, who are you? Instead of, how are you? But who is always with us, devotees? Who is always with us? Jinke hriday Shri Ram base. Jinke hriday Shri Ram base. In this heart, devotees, resides Prabhu Shri Ram. Jinke hriday Ram base. Un aur ko naam liyo नलियो जिन के हृदय श्री राम जिने हृदय श्री राम बसे और कुमलियो अलियो जिन
हृदय श्री राम
कोई मांगे कंचन से काया कोई मांग रहा प्रभु से माँ कोई मांगे कंचन से काया कोई मांग रहा प्रभु कोई पुण्य करे कोई दान करे कोई दान करे सो बखान करे जिन कन्या धन को दान दियो जिन कन्या धन को दान दियो और को नाम लियो न लियो जिन के हृदय श्री राम बसे और को नाम लियो न लियो जिन के हृदय
श्री राम
कोई घर में बैठा नमन करे कोई हरि मंदिर में भजन करे कोई घर में बैठा नमन करे कोई हरि मंदिर में भजन करे कोई गंगा जमुना स्नान करे कोई काशी जाके ध्यान धरे जिन मात पिता की सेवा की जिन मात पिता की सेवा की उन तीरथ स्नान कियो न कियो जिन के हृदय श्री राम बसे और को नाम लियो न लियो जिन के हृदय श्री राम. What is bhajan starts with devotee, starts with a prayer, says Tvameva mata shapita tvameva Tvameva bandho shasakha tvameva Tvameva vidya dravinam tvameva Tvameva sarvam mama deva deva. What is prayer is telling us? Anybody tell me except Rangi? So there's an operative word. So not only you are my mother, Tvameva mata, eva, that you alone are my mother. Shapita tvameva, you alone are my father. Next line, Tvameva bandhu. Bandhu? Brothers, sisters, relatives. Just sakha tvameva. Now, sakha, friends. You alone are my friend. Tvameva vidya. You alone are my knowledge. Dravinam tvameva. Dravinam. My wealth, possessions. You alone are my possessions. Tvameva sarvam. That you are my everything. Very powerful prayer, devotees. Very powerful prayer. Do we chant it every day? I shall not understand every day. We chant that prayer every day. We should understand the meaning, what we are saying to Bhagwan. Yes, we have a physical mother and we should regard and respect that mother, but understand that that relationship is transient, temporary. Temporary. One day that physical form of mother will leave us. Or we may leave before we don't know. Father also, brother, sister, friends. Sometimes knowledge leaves us. So what is the real relationship? What is a permanent relationship, devotees? This prayer tells us with Bhagwan. Our permanent relationship is with God. So therefore, as Kalkusundaji is experiencing, his heart was flooded with joy, with happiness. We also want to experience this. So we engage in the devotion. Boli Shri Ramchandra Bhagwan ki jai. So the time has quickly run away with us today. So at this time we'll engage in Arti. So those of us here at the mandir, let us all please stand. There'll be some extra thalis prepared. If you would like to come forward and perform Arti, you can feel free to do so. Those who are at home, you can go to your altar, perform the Arti at home. Harihi Om Sajang Chavarti Sanyuktam Vahninayochitam Maya Deepam Grihan Deveshu Trailokyam Timirapaham Arati Shri Ramayana जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की
कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की
गावत ब्रह्मा दिक मुनि नारद
गावत ब्रह्मा दिक मुनि नारद
वाल्मीकि विज्ञान विशारद
वाल्मीकि विज्ञान विशारद
शुक सनकादि शेष और शारद बरनी पवन सुत की रति की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की
गावत वेद पुराण अष्टदश गावत वेद
पुराण अष्टदश
चाहो शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस
चाहो शास्त्र सब ग्रंथन को रस
मुनि जन धन संतन को सर्वस सार अंश सम्मत सब ही के आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सियपी की
आरती श्री
सन्तत शम्भो भवानी
तावत संतत शम्भो भवानी
अरुघत संभाव मुनि विज्ञानी
अरुघत संभव मुनि विज्ञानी
व्यास आदि कवि बरजब खानी कागद सुंदे गरुड़ के आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलि कललित सिय पीके
आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलित ललित सिय पीके
कलिमल हरनि विषय रस फेके कलिमल हरनि
विषय रस पीके
सुभग श्रृंगार मुक्ति जुवती के सुभग श्रृंगार
मुक्ति जुवती की
दलन रोग भाव मोरे अमेके तात मात सब विधि तुलसी की आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलि कललित सिय पीके आरती श्री रामायण जी की कीरति कलि कललित सिय पीके कीरति कलि कललित सिय पीके कीरति कलि कललित सिय राम राम सीता राम रामचंद्र पाहि मां राम कृष्ण गोविंदा हरि पाहि मां राम कृष्ण गोविंदा
हरे पाहि
राम राम सीता राम रामचंद्र पाहि मां राम कृष्ण गोविंदा हरि पाहि मां
राम कृष्ण गोविंदा हरे पाहि
कृष्ण कृष्ण गोपाला वासुदेव पाहि मां
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 राम कृष्ण गोविंदा हरि पाहि मां
राम कृष्ण गोविंदा हरे पाहि मां
अतुलित बादल धाम हनुमत पाहि मां अतुलित बादल धाम पाहि माम्
आतुलित बालधाम हनुमत पाहि माम्
राम कृष्ण गोविंदा हरि पाहि माम्
राम कृष्ण गोविंदा हरि पाहि
दुर्गा लक्ष्मी शारदा सर्वदेवी पाहि माम् दुर्गा लक्ष्मी शारदा सर्वदेवी पाहि माम् राम कृष्ण गोविंदा हरि पाहि माम् राम कृष्ण गोविंदा
हरि पाहि
हर हर गंगाधर नीलकंठ पाहि माम् हर हर गंगाधर नीलकंठ पाहि माम् राम कृष्ण गोविंदा हरि पाहि माम्
राम कृष्ण गोविंदा हरि पाहि
राम राम सीता राम रामचंद्र पाहि माम् राम कृष्ण गोविंदा हरि पाहि माम् राम कृष्ण गोविंदा हरि पाहि माम् राम कृष्ण गोविंदा हरि पाहि माम्। बोली श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। If you have flowers, please take a flower in your hand. We all clasp our hands, we close our eyes, we bow our heads. We focus our minds at the feet of Prabhu Shri Ram, Shri Krishna Bhagavan as we engage in our final pratana to end today's devotion. We humbly ask you, Prabhu, that we are all engaged in this wonderful service, devotion this morning. We humbly ask you, Prabhu, to shower your choices, grace and blessings upon our sponsor family today, Parmani and her family, and all who have celebrated wonderful occasions in their life, and all devotees who have joined so beautifully this morning in your devotion. We humbly ask you to shower us with your grace and blessings. Harihi Om. Mantrahinam kriyahinam Bhaktihinam Janadanam Yat Pujitam Maya Devam Paripuranam Tarastu May Om Vahanam Najanami Visarjanam Pujam Chaiva Najanami Shamyatam Parameshwaram Tvameva Mata Shapita Tvameva Bandhu Shasaka Tvameva Vidya Dravinam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deva Om Asato Ma Sadgamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityormamritam Gamaya He Sarvashaktiman Sachirananda Nirakar Nirvikar Sarvadhar Sarveshwar Sarvavyapakantaryami Ajar Amar Nitya Pavitra Shrishti Karta Ko Barambar Namaskar Hai He Paramatma Bhavishya वर्तमान दुखियों का कष्ट हरण करके सुबुद्धि को प्रकाश करके जिससे सबका मंगल होए। ओम शांति 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 हरि ओम। Remind ourselves, devotees, to place our faith at the feet of Bhagavan, that this time that we spend in this world, it becomes very enjoyable. Tujhe rona nahi hoga, that you will not have that opportunity or that cause to shed tears in this world if you place that faith at the feet of Bhagavan. Bharosa kar tu ईश्वर पर, तुझे धोखा नहीं होगा। भरोसा कर तू ईश्वर पर,
तुझे धोखा नहीं होगा।
ये जीवन बीत जाएगा, ये जीवन बीत जाएगा, तुझे रोना नहीं होगा। भरोसा कर तू ईश्वर पर, तुझे धोखा नहीं होगा। भरोसा कभी सुख है कभी दुख है। That sometimes devotees will be happy, sometimes will endure suffering. ये जीवन धूप छाया है। That this is the form of life, devotees. This is what life is about. कभी सुख है कभी दुख है, ये जीवन धूप छाया है। कभी सुख है कभी दुख है, ये जीवन धूप छाया है। हंसी में ही बिता डालो, हंसी में ही बिता डालो, बिताने ही ये माया है। भरोसा कर तू ईश्वर पर, तुझे धोखा नहीं होगा। ये जीवन बीत जाएगा, ये जीवन बीत
जाएगा,
तुझे रोना नहीं होगा। भरोसा कर तू ईश्वर पर, तुझे धोखा नहीं होगा। भरोसा कर
तू ईश्वर पर, तुझे धोखा नहीं होगा।
बोले श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय। उमापति महादेव की जय। पवन सुत हनुमान की जय। वृंदावन कृष्ण चंद्र की जय। ओरेसा जगन्नाथ की जय। बोलो रे भाई सब संतन की जय। सियापति रामचंद्र की जय। बोली श्री सत्य सनातन धर्म की जय। जय जय सीताराम। प्रेम से आसन लीजिए। प्लीज हैव योर सीट्स डिवोटीज। So devotees, it's been a very wonderful morning of devotion that all of you found it possible to be here, join with us this morning, and of course those who are joining online with us. Very, very happy to have all of you. Again, we're encouraging devotees as much as possible, to come in person to the mandir. We always say, there's a difference between sitting at home watching on a screen and coming here, being physically present, right? It's a lot of, they say long distance, short distance, right? So when you in the energy, it hits you a little bit harder, right? As it travels through the Wi-Fi and the air, whatever internet service, Rogers, Bell, whatever you have. So passing through all of that, it loses some steam. So you don't get the full effect. So come out to the mandir and enjoy with us, this wonderful energy that we all experience when we come. So that being said, devotees, on Tuesday is Shri Ganesh Chaturthi, first one of this year. So we'll be having Lord Ganesh Puja being done here at the mandir. And we will start live stream at 7 p.m. But devotees who would like to come a little bit earlier and participate in part of the puja, you can feel free to join us a little bit earlier. But live stream will start at 7 p.m. Of course, we'll give devotees at home as well the opportunity to make offerings to Lord Ganesh with one of the devotees who will be making offerings with us here. And next Saturday coming in fact, is Makar Sankranti. It's called Pungal, or this is the time when the sun changes the direction from traveling, as we say, traveling south to start going back in the northern direction. That the sun doesn't really move, it's our, it's relative to us, our movement. So the sun is starting to move relative north to us. So this is called the start of a period called Uttarayana. Uttarayana means the daytime. So year is divided in two parts, Uttarayana, Dakshinayana. Uttarayana is daytime of the Devatas, considered a very auspicious time for any sort of ceremony and so on. And then Dakshinayana starts later on in the year. This year I believe is June 21st. Dakshinayana will begin. It's called the night time of the Devatas. It also coincides with the Chaturmas and so on. So on Saturday we celebrate and observe this auspicious occasion. This will be morning program. So because it's a Saturday, we are able that day to do the Surya Narayan Puja on that day, and also Ganga Ma Puja on Saturday. So Puja will start at 9 a.m. on Saturday so that we can get it completed before the noon hour. And of course then Sunday is our service as usual. On the 25th of this month also is Basanta Panchami, Saraswati Ma Jayanti. So very auspicious day, wonderful day for all children and all seekers of knowledge. All seekers of knowledge, right? Not only children, but those who are in the learning stage. And we all should be in learning stage all the time, right? Even when we're 75, 80 years old, we're still in learning stage because we can still learn something. So all seekers of knowledge invited to come and participate in the Saraswati Ma Jayanti. What's that? Yes, also very close on the horizon, Mahashivratri this year falling very nicely for us. Family Day weekend here in Ontario, right? And also this one is Saturday, right? Saturday night to Sunday morning. So we're envisioning for ourselves here that we'll be doing, what is called Jagran. We'll wake the whole night, right? And engage in devotion to Lord Shiva. So starting from 9 o'clock Prahar, and then 12 o'clock, 3 o'clock, 6 o'clock. 6 o'clock we do our last offering to Shiv Shankar Bhagwan. So we invite all of you to come out and participate with us. Even those in the US who want to come, feel free. So once more, devotees, God's blessings to all. Oh, just a reminder that partially the calendar is up on the board. So devotees are invited to go to the board and put your names to any programs that are free and available. Some programs are taken already. I think by next week the full calendar will be up with all the programs. So feel free to go and put your name and host any of the programs that we will be having here at the mandir. So once more, devotees, God's blessings to each and every one of you until Tuesday evening at 7. Jai Jai Sitaram.